One of the things that makes our country strong is our institutions. No matter how bad things get in this country, we have a basic structure that ensures a functioning democracy. We can disagree on policy, but we do so within the bounds of order and respect for the system. Otherwise, it all falls apart. I'm not going to dwell on the decorum of the House here today, other than to say we are not going to allow stunts like this to stop us from carrying out the people's business. Why do I call this a stunt? Well, because it is one. Let's just be honest here. Here are some facts. Yesterday, the House Appropriations Committee considered its bill for Homeland Security spending. At the committee, Democrats offered in committee an amendment offering the gun measure they say they want. That amendment failed on a bipartisan basis. So just yesterday, the Democrats offered this gun measure they claim they want, and it failed on a bipartisan basis in committee. There was a vote. It was in the committee through regular order, and the vote failed. That's a fact they didn't want to talk about. Here's another one. If Democrats want to vote for a bill on the floor, there's a way to get one. It just takes 218 signatures on a petition. It can have a vote. It is that simple. That's how the House works. It's a well-known process. But they're not doing that. They are not trying to actually get this done through regular order. No, instead, they're staging protests. They're trying to get on TV. They are sending out fundraising solicitations, like this one. House Democrats on the House floor. Your contribution will go to the DCCC. $15. This one says, try giving us $25. But if you want, you can send us $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000. Because look at what we're doing on the House floor. Send us money. If this is not a political stunt, then why are they trying to raise money off of this? Off of a tragedy? What they're called for failed in a committee in the House. The reason I call this as a stunt is because they know this isn't going anywhere. It already failed in the Senate. They may not like this fact, but this bill couldn't even get 50 votes in the United States Senate, let alone 60. Why is that? Why is it that this bill failed on a bipartisan basis in committee and this bill failed on a bipartisan basis in the Senate? Because in this country, we do not take away people's constitutional rights without due process. This is not just Republicans saying this. It's groups like the ACLU who are saying this. But more to the point, our focus needs to be on confronting radical extremism. Terrorism is the issue. Let me say it again. Terrorism is the issue. And defeating terrorism is our focus here in the House. So really clear. We are not going to take away the constitutional rights of law-abiding Americans. And we're not going to allow publicity stunts to stop us from doing our job. That's why the House powered ahead last night to provide important resources in the fight against the Zika virus. One of our must-do items on our list this week was that we had to respond to the Zika virus. We know this is something that we have to get on top of. And in the face of this distraction, we passed a responsible bill that provides the level of funding that was in the Senate bill that received a big bipartisan vote with a mix of offsets that we in the House thought were very important. This is a good compromise. It meets an urgent need, and I urge the Senate to take it up and pass it. Now, Democrats can talk all they want. I'm really not sure what their plan or end game is here, but the bottom line is despite these distractions, we did our job. We did the people's business, and we will continue to do so. One more point I want to bring up. I want to say a word about the Supreme Court ruling that we just got that halts the president's executive amnesty. This is a win for the Constitution. It's a win for Congress, and it's a win in our fight to restore the separation of powers. Presidents don't write laws. Congress writes laws. This is a case that the House weighed in on because it's fundamental to our system of checks and balances. Congress, not the president, writes our laws. And today, the Supreme Court validated that very core, essential, fundamental principle.